So some of the ideas I got from listening downstairs, so write to our MPs, write to Stephen, yeah. What should be the content of these letters right now?
Well, we've got on the website. Probably what we'll do is if you've registered downstairs, in the next week I'll get all those details off Richard, and then there'll be an updated letter going out with a list of things that people can do. And what I said was obviously there'll be details in there, so like for unions, political branches, church groups, whatever, saying that what they want to happen, and it's simple demands. There's nothing too controversial about it. Family want a full, robust and transparent investigation. Well, I don't think even the Police Federation can argue with that. A policy decision is the use of CS spray and dangerous restraint techniques, and for that to be subject to public scrutiny, and then just goes through what can be done. And that's, I suspect, that will expand with time. This is the first 12 weeks, and I know when we started the campaign, the chocolate campaign 16 years ago, we drew up a list, and it was just 5 simple demands in the STUC that we said in the backing of the offices, and then within months and in years those demands grew and expanded, because then you see it. But it's initially to say that's what we need to do, but we're in for the long haul. Yeah. This is not something that's going to end next week. No, it's not. I mean, and I know that the media and people say, "Oh, well, is there a timeline?" And you're going, "Are you insane? A timeline? Do you really think there's a timeline that's going to be 2 months, 3 months, whatever?"
Yes. They want you to go away.
Instant news, whatever. I'm not going to get it, because there is so many processes involved in this. To get answers, we've got a long way to go. There's, investigations. The question of whether there'll be proceedings, legal proceedings. Even if there's not legal proceedings, there's going to be a fatal accident inquiry. There's going to be a civil action. Other families are going to have to fight to get their hands on certain documents and certain items. We've got our own experts and structures. So there's so many areas to do. And also in the background of that is, are we actually going to learn any lessons, or are they just going to stand and say lessons need to be learned? And I said that. Fatal accident inquiry, knocking into long grass. Well, what's the big deal about a fatal accident inquiry? Because I know we've got one going on at the moment, and we've got recommendations we made. It doesn't tie anyone. It doesn't say you must implement those full stop by law. It doesn't actually say so. There's no, it's a case of, and we knew from the Kirkcaldy case, the CS spray that was used in Kirkcaldy and the Perk investigated used in the hospital. CCT didn't work, but what I looked for was to see, well, what was, because I also looked at the use of CS spray, where the Perk had investigated this before. Perk made recommendations. They made the recommendations in March. The Police Scotland still not implemented those recommendations, because you have a 6-month timeline. Now, when we get to the 6-month timeline, it's a case of, will they still implement it? It's almost as though, well, yeah, thanks for your recommendation, but we'll do what we want with it. So there has to be some way of doing that. So there's a number of issues. I'm inviting speakers in, having meetings like this, emails, putting it up on Twitter. I mean, people can just do so much in a different way. Sometimes people think, well, even writing a letter, is that going to make a difference? It all comes together. I know from anti-war meetings, I remember the year saying, I remember when people say, oh, how can we stop the superpower and this and that? And you say, look, the Vietnam War took meetings like this in one university, which then expanded to other universities and other colleges, and then it combined with the civil liberties movement, the black movement, the women's movement, and it grew into a worldwide movement, until eventually they just couldn't take pressure anymore. Now, people are obviously getting the word out, and I think social media is a fantastic way of delivering that message and responding to their lives, to the point of that they can't just carry on because people are making the connections. They'll try and shut us up, but in the days and the weeks and the months ahead, in order to keep families going and not to give up, because it's very easy for people outside to say, well, just carry on campaigning, but the tears dry up and people become tired. They have family commitments, they have work commitments, and it's the pain of constantly going out and telling the same story day in, day out to different audiences, to different strangers, and crying those tears, whatever. And the only way you can keep going is that people actually turning up and showing support. I'm thinking, well, that's worthwhile. It's that knowledge spreading out. I mean, we wouldn't have the word Stephen Lawrence meaning so much that all those people who actually, frankly, didn't give a damn, the politicians, whether it be in Labour, whether it be in the Tory party, whatever, they didn't give a damn. But they were dragged to actually have to stand up and say, we want to stand next to Dory, we want to stand next to Lawrence.